Reddit asks, history answers. Am I the asshole through time? Let's drift through a tapestry of modern dilemmas, the kind that unfold in group chats, family dinners, and quiet moments of doubt. Each is a whisper from the Reddit halls of Am I the asshole? But we won't just judge, we'll reflect, wander backward through time, and ask, has this happened before? What would they have done long ago? And what does this say about us now? Let's begin. The white dress at the wedding. Am I the asshole for telling my cousin she can't wear white to my wedding? This Redditor writes of her cousin, she's planning to wear a white dress because she thinks it's her style and she's not worried about stealing the spotlight. In this post, the Redditor only asks for one thing: no white at the wedding. A tradition, yes, but also a quiet boundary on a day already brimming with pressure. The bride wanted elegance, simplicity, and a moment that belonged to her. But her cousin, a self-described free spirit, insisted on wearing a white dress, said it suited her style, said the bride should loosen up. When asked not to, she rolled her eyes. And so the question hangs in the air: am I the asshole for asking her not to wear white? Now let's drift. In 1840, Queen Victoria wore white to her wedding. It wasn't the first white wedding gown in history, but it was the most influential. Her dress made white a symbol of purity, wealth, and status. But centuries before that, brides wore red in China, green in the British Isles, blue in Rome. White wasn't about innocence, it was about something practical: laundry. But one thing has always been true: weddings have rules. In 16th century Florence, sumptuary laws dictated who could wear certain colors and fabrics. A cousin inappropriately dressed could bring shame to the entire family. So perhaps the bride isn't being controlling, she's participating in an old ritual, keeping order at a ceremony where everything, from the shoes to the salad, says something. Today, etiquette may seem optional, but the desire to be seen and celebrated without interruption, that runs deep. Boundaries in the bedroom, then and now. Am I the asshole for wanting our bedroom to be a kid-free zone? Reddit's battleground today: one stepmom wants her bedroom to be a kid-free zone. Her stepdaughter has a habit of poking through drawers, testing makeup, and generally treating the bedroom like an open playground. The stepmom is 25, new to marriage, and wants boundaries. The husband, who's 30, says he wants his daughter to feel at home everywhere in the house, including their bedroom. The debate: is the stepmom being cold, or is she simply asking for a door that means something? Let's step back. Throughout most of history, the concept of having your own bedroom, let alone enforcing privacy within it, was a luxury few could afford. In 18th century tenements, entire families might sleep in the same bed. One-room cottages were standard for the working class in Europe and early America. Modesty was achieved not by doors, but by turning your back. But privacy, when it existed, mattered deeply. In wealthier homes, the master bedroom was symbolically off limits, used not just for sleep, but as a space of retreat, status, and often secrecy. In Victorian England, the bedroom was often guarded by social expectations. You did not enter without being invited. Even children of the household were taught to knock. And across cultures, the lines between personal space and communal life look very different. In Japan, for instance, traditional homes feature fusuma, or sliding paper doors, that offer visual privacy but little in terms of sound or solitude. Families sleep on futons in shared spaces that are reconfigured each night. Yet, even in this arrangement, Adults often carve out boundaries through ritual and etiquette. In many parts of India, multi-generational households are the norm. Bedrooms might be shared, but private items such as cosmetics or jewelry are kept in personal storage boxes, respected as individual property. The physical boundary might be loose, but the cultural one remains intact. In modern Scandinavian countries, where respect for personal boundaries is highly valued, even small children are taught not to enter a parent's bedroom uninvited. It's part of the broader social fabric of autonomy and mutual respect. So, returning to our Reddit stepmom, what she's asking for isn't outlandish, it's ancient. It's a cry for a room that represents not just storage for makeup, but a space to exhale, a line drawn gently in the carpet. And the pushback she's getting, it often echoes something deeper. When one parent is trying to blend a family, small boundaries can feel like big rejections. But they don't have to be. Boundaries aren't barriers, they're invitations to be respectful. In the end, every home must choose its own architecture of privacy, whether it's a locked door, a knock, or simply teaching a child when no means not right now. The dog on the couch. Am I the asshole if I stopped inviting my friend over because of how she treats my dog? She didn't mean to choose sides, but every time her friend came over, the tension grew. The dog, her family, her comfort, her companion, was met with flinches, sneers, even a push off the couch. She asked her friend to be kind, or at least neutral, but her friend insisted, "You're choosing a dog over people." And maybe she is, but she wonders, am I the asshole for not wanting to invite her over anymore? Let's go further back. In ancient Egypt, dogs were sacred. They had names. They were buried with their owners. The Greeks and Romans had house dogs too. And while not all were pampered, some were beloved enough to warrant poems when they died. In early modern Europe, nobles had lapdogs, while peasants had watchdogs. But even then, dogs earned affection through loyalty. To love a dog is deeply human, but to insist someone else love your dog, that's trickier. Still, there's something timeless about honoring the creatures who give us comfort, whether it's a 19th century widow clutching her terrier or a modern woman defending her schnauzers right to the couch. Hospitality does not require self betrayal, and perhaps choosing the dog is not about rejecting people, but protecting the quiet parts of ourselves that dogs understand best. The name Nixirin, echoes of identity. Am I the asshole for naming my baby something unconventional? The moment someone names a child, they reach across time. Names are tiny banners of identity, threaded with hope, memory, defiance, and love. That's why so many people take it personally when they don't understand a name. They forget it's not theirs to carry. In one Reddit post, a new mother shares her choice to name her baby girl Nixirin, drawn from Greek mythology, Nyx, the night goddess, and Irina, meaning peace. The name is lyrical, uncommon, full of intent. But at a family dinner, her aunt bursts into laughter. Not a chuckle, a loud, unfiltered laugh followed by scorn. "You seriously named your kid that? She'll be mocked for life. You're being selfish." The mother defends herself but leaves the dinner doubting. Was the name too strange? Would her daughter carry a burden? Here's the thing. Names we accept today, Aaliyah, Nova, Kai, Arlo, were once whispered with hesitation too. In the late 1800s, Hazel was considered quirky. Luna didn't take off until the 2000s, and yet they now top baby name charts. Naming trends are rivers, not statues. They change course, and people often forget that unusual is just another word for not theirs. For Black families, especially after emancipation, naming was a form of rebirth. Free people chose names that their ancestors were never allowed to have, names that honored their African heritage, names that offered a break from the surnames of former owners. Names like Hope, Liberty, Zora, or even newly invented ones that sang with beauty. These weren't errors, these were acts of authorship. In this context, Nixiran is not a burden, it's a gift, a reminder that this child's name was sculpted, not stamped, that it holds myth, peace, and a bit of rebellion. So, no, you're not the villain for naming your child something rare, and if the name draws attention, then perhaps it's working exactly as intended, inviting the world to pause, ask, and listen. Because every name has a story, and every story deserves the dignity of being told, not ridiculed. These moments, a dress, a door, a dog, a name, seem small, but they echo across centuries, through every banquet, every hearth, every cradle. What we ask for isn't always permission. Sometimes it's acknowledgement, sometimes it's dignity, sometimes it's love. And so, if you ever find yourself wondering, am I the asshole? Remember, even in the past, the answers weren't simple, but asking the question, that is a very old, very human thing to do.